So Chris, how you plan to do this with the intern?
No, I'm just gonna see. That's the thing. The best thing to come about these things is don't give them
Titles?
don't give them titles. Don't give them a script. Just let's bring him into his to the habitat and let me see how he performs.
Okay.
It's that simple. We don't have to tell him what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it, and we'll see how he. I'm a great believer in throwing. Listen. I'm gonna be honest with you, Lou.
Yeah.
When I was 7 years old, my parents took me. They threw me in the junque.
Yeah.
Those 17 days I told you in the junque.
That's where
I
it
was
started?
7 years old, Lou.
Wow.
They just left me out there. Look at me now.
Yeah. Well, some would argue.
So that's what I want to do with our intern.
Okay.
With our potential intern or whatever.
So let me ask you, what is it? So what are we doing here? Are we doing a mukbang, or what are we doing? Are we just
let's just not see. This is your problem.
We don't want to give it a label.
Don't label it. I know you.
I'm very
you're
meticulous in terms of
you're very
what
anal.
we're doing.
No.
I'm not anal. I just want to know what we're doing.
Listen, look. Best thing in life is let's cipher it. Let's freestyle.
You know
Let
what?
it happen.
And that's how I did LSD that night. So
Oh, shit.
he's on his way.
Yeah. Well, I gotta find out.
Fuck my life.
Of course, Lewis. Of course, Lewis.
Oh man.
That's
The guy at the store told me this thing works itself. I don't gotta do anything.
Plug and play. He probably told you plug and play. He probably told you idiot proof.
He did use that word. He did use that word, Christian.
He probably told you it's idiot proof and this and that, but it happens. It happens with these electronic devices.
So what's going on, Jackie Gleason? How's everything?
You
old fuck.
Yo, it's crazy and the thing is, I started looking at it, and you see me, you're doing the whole thing, and I'm like, and she's cracking the fuck up. Yeah, that's when you were fighting with me. That's when I said I wasn't fighting with you. Stop it right now.
Yeah.
But it was good yesterday. It was good yesterday. And the longer the more I use it, the more we're gonna get. The I'm gonna get a different camera, by the way. I'm gonna get a GoPro.
Wow. I can wear that on my head.
Yeah. Shut.
But just so everybody knows what's going on, me and Chris officially have started the Who's the Better Athlete marathon.
Yes.
And what Chris is 1 a month safe if we can squeeze 2, but right now
No,
I
let's do one a month.
One a month because we got the holidays coming
Yeah,
up.
holidays are coming
So
up.
each month, me and Chris, we're gonna alternate who's gonna pick what activity, and we're gonna compete in that activity, building up to the basketball game.
Larry Legend.
My only hope is that I could outlast him. But yo, I'm really excited today. Chris doesn't know him, but many of you guys from Sunset Park know this guy. It's Pepper, Henry Brent. He was a former flyweight boxing champion of the world. He's from Brownsville. And then after his boxing career, he came to Sunset Park. If you're from my era, where you went to the dungeon early 90s to 2000, that was Pepper's time. And Pep was very instrumental in a lot of the kids in the neighborhood, keeping guys off the streets, pretty much keeping the gym open to 12 o'clock at night so we wouldn't be running around acting the fool. So very excited to talk to him. And as you know, Pep is a funny guy, so make sure your volume's on high.
We'll make sure to put that little icon with the.
I think I'm good here, Chris. Whenever you want to go. Motherfucker!
Yo, big control the soundboard.
Center on the beat.
Yes, sir.
Welcome everybody to the Bree Shooters, the podcast that brings you sports news, polka, and everything in between.
We love the tweeters.
I'm your boy Lou, joined by my very good friend Chris.
Yes, sir. What? Oh no! Don't get me.
Willie is on vacation. He has accumulated enough vacation time. He's out today.
See, this is your problem. You enable. Right now, if Willie was a drug addict, you'd be handing him heroin. If Willie was an alcoholic, you'd be having him a fifth of vodka. He did not. We haven't been in the air enough. We don't have vacation time. And we run this shit.
That's part of being management.
As you can see, the chair is empty.
We should start interviewing.
No. You think I'm playing, Lou? You think
And
think this is a game?
I want to bring in more ethnic people.
No, Lou. I got an email.
A candidate.
No. I got an email from was it the NAACP PPA? They talking about affirmative action. I said, what the fuck
I'm
affirmative?
black, though,
I'm
Chris.
black too.
You're not really black. You just lived in a black neighborhood.
No. I'm black. I'm black on the inside. On the inside, I'm black. You know, but you don't make me break down the Taino heritage. You know, I'm 50% Taino, 35% African, and the other 15% I don't care to mention. But it's from the Spaniard part of Europe. But yeah, I got an email about affirmative action.
Yo.
Yeah, so I had to.
That means the podcast is taking off.
What?
So Chris,
No, you don't
affirmative
understand.
action usually comes into play when you have a certain amount of employees. Right now, it's just me and you.
I guess we count for a
Your,
lot.
your girl doesn't even know she's unemployed, so that's the best scam.
You don't have to. You don't have to. Don't let her know because she's gonna start asking for benefits.
All I'm thinking is, yo, don't let this drone hit us, because we don't got workers comp. Yo,
But
no, I think
it's crazy because how the fuck he gets vacation time? Like I don't understand. Like so honestly, you know, we might. I schedule an interview, but it's in a tentative hour, so I don't really know when is it gonna happen.
Oh, so you telling me that the applicant is already late?
I don't want to say he's late because I'll be stereotyping him.
Does he have a tablet? To make correct, does he have a tablet?
I don't think he has a tablet. He has a smartphone. I don't. Listen,
Smartphone, Android?
It's an Android, yeah. Well, we'll figure it
Oh,
out.
yeah, we'll work it out. Let's go.
But you know, it's just crazy. You'll see. I don't want to tell you who he is, but I just know that apparently we needed to bring a little bit of diversity to our podcast.
There we go.
I was going to thank you for
Because I'm mulatto. I really want to go full throttle.
I'm mulatto. Does that make me gelato?
Speaking of mulattoes, those are pretty good.
Let's call Pepper.
Let's call my man Peter.
Thank you for calling Choose Life Engineered Water Treatment Filtration Solutions.
We calling his business.
That's a
The Almighty has created all living things with the demand and need for pure, taintless
Jim
water.
Jones?
Nothing is more important to our health than pure, life-giving water. Clean water, flush it.
I was calling God.
You sound like you're down. Double check the number.
You told me. Yeah.
This is what I mean. I have to deal with this income.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
I knew it was a real freaking number.
I called God. Yo, what the fuck?
Y'all gonna have to edit that out, man, because somebody's gonna come after me for copyright.
No, don't edit it. At the end of the day, we probably.
Hey. So I hope everybody's excited about the holidays. What are you guys really excited about the holidays?
I'm still a little bit
Yes, hello.
Yo, Pimp.
Yes.
Hold on 1 second, brother. Let me give you a proper intro.
Okay.
I would like to introduce everyone to a special person to the Sunset Park community. For years, this person has helped shape and mold the young men of Sunset Park. Before Sunset Recreation Center, he was a former Flyweight Boxing Federation champion.
What?
His career spanned from 1980 to 1987. He has an all-time professional record of 9-6. He has fought around the world as far as career. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Henry Brent, a.k.a. Hot Pepper. What's up, Pep?
Oh!
Pepper's good. Keep it step with Pep.
What's up, Pep, man?
What's wrong?
How you doing, brother, man?
I'm fine. How about yourself?
Real good. Hey, Pep, man, before we get into this, man, I just want to say on behalf of all the kids from Sunset Park that you were a big influence in our lives, and I want to say thank you. I know it was your job, but I always felt like you went above and beyond, just giving us that extra time, and just being there, guiding us, sharing your wisdom, your life experiences, and brother, thank you, man. It was really it was an honor knowing you, and I'm glad to call you a friend. Thank you, Pepper.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Lou. You and people like Daniel and yourself, you guys were great, man. You were knucklehead kids, but you were great.
that was more Damien than me, man. Well, okay. So, Pep, first of all, let me get right into it, Pep. So, how do you get into the boxing game?
Well, I was always athletic, and I played baseball. You guys don't know, I got looked at by the Yankees and the Cincinnati Reds in high school. I played baseball.
Get up. What
but
position?
Also, but what I did, the reason I got into boxing was that I was so athletic. I used to hang around St. John's Recreation Center a lot. I see the guys come out of the boxing room, and that's something I wanted to try, and I did. And what's so ironic about the whole situation is that the coach that was up there, the great Mr. George Chevy Tree Washington, whose name was on the corner of Marcus Garvey Boulevard and Gates Avenue, he said, I'm going to be his flyweight. And that I was.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Now, Pep, you're not a tall man, so any fear going in? Like, do you doubt yourself?
No. As a matter of fact, you know what? Being a flyweights were unique in a sense. Battlers were smaller guys. Flyweight was lightweight, but they were taller guys. I fought a lot of tall guys. I was basically a counter puncher, so I had no problem with that. I was a counter puncher, and I punched off of what you did, and it worked out well for me. 2 championships.
Wow, Pep. Hey, Pep. So I was looking you up. So is that your actual record, 9-6? Because I figured it had to be more fights than that.
It had been 18-6 too, man. 18-3, man.
Oh, okay. And how often were you fighting back then?
No, it was really, see, you just need to be like, I was a flyweight. Being a flyweight was very difficult, especially in the 80s. Now, if I had stayed on the West Coast, I had moved to Las Vegas for a little while to turn professional. But what happened was I was having my first sons, so I came back to New York City where I had to take big fights early. And to tell you the truth, you're right, I only had 15 professional fights. And out of those 15 professional fights, 6 of those fights were main events, and 5 were championships.
Oh, wow. Man, so you had a connection that you was like in all these big fights?
When I came out of the amateurs, I was highly regarded, and so when I came out of the amateurs, I wanted to fight 10 rounds, my first professional fight. But what happened was that you couldn't do that back then, so I had to fight a 6-rounder against a guy named Moreno. He was 14-1 at the time, or 14-2, I think.
Oh, wow. So tell me, what was the highlight and what was the highlight of your career and the biggest regret of your career?
Well, even though I won my first championship at Madison Square Garden, my highlight was me winning my second championship because the first championship I won, I was stripped of my title for political reasons. I really want to get into it. It would take too long. But
oh, wow.
And they told me that I would never be champion again. I looked at the person who told me that. He told me that in my face, and even though I was young, I'm like saying later for you, but I thought about it, but what happened was that they were right. I went to England, took a fight in England, and came back to England and get stripped of my title within the next 2 months because they put the word out, do not touch heavyweight rank.
Wow. And
when they do that in boxing, you trapped.
Oh man, it was that corrupt back then, huh?
It was that deep, man, and I'm not gonna necessarily say corrupt because it was one thing that was more corrupt than that, but it was one of the reasons that not only myself, but a lot of guys like myself couldn't get to the next level that they had been to.
Hey, Pep, forgive me. I forgot to introduce my co-host. His name is Chris Soto. He's from the neighborhood as well. I don't know if he caught you at the tail end. He used to come back and forth, but he's also here with me. And so if you hear a different voice, he's gonna be asking you questions as well.
How you doing, Pep?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me, champ. Thanks for having me, okay?
No, Pep, don't call him champ, Pep. Just keep that for me, all right, Pep?
Royalty recognized royalty, Pep. I appreciate you.
Hey, Pep, I don't think I ever beat you on that one-on-one. Yo, listen, true story. When I was a kid, right? And mind you, I was in high school. I used to go to the dungeon every day to play this guy, Pepper. Just to show you how great shape he was. He was already past, his career was over. And you starting to see the gray hairs. Yo, I used to go at this guy Pepper every night hard to try to beat Pepper. I could never beat him. Pep, man, you and that little cheap jump shot from the foul line. He used to go to the foul line, shoot the jump shot, and he used to beat me every night. I couldn't beat him. That damn Pep, I used to go up there tight.
I like that.
Oh my God.
Hey, Lou, when I met you, I think you were 17, Lou.
Yeah, probably a little younger, Pep. I think it might have been 15. You and Blue were up there. When you guys got up there, like 92?
I got December 1st up to 92.
Oh, 92?
I started seeing you guys like in 93, like early 93.
Yeah, you're right. I was about 17 years old, yeah.
See, I'm good. I got that.
Yep.
Pep, you know what? Since we're talking about Sunset, what got you into Sunset? What got you into? How did you come to work to Sunset Park, the Sunset Park area?
It's all right. It deals with boxing as well. You know, I ran the Bedside Boxing Gym. I was running that program, that business as a business. And I was running out of funds. You know, I was donating out my funds to help to keep the place running at times. And so I said, let me give me a little job. You know, just to maybe a little $2 on the side. And I applied for Parks Department, and guess what? I'm still with Parks Department.
Wow.
Okay.
Hey, what you call it, Pep? So tell us about that experience fighting in the garden. That must have been something amazing.
Oh yeah, it was great, man. The first time, my first championship, I was fighting the Madison Square Garden, the main event. It was great. But let me go back. Let me step back a little bit though, because my greatest event was being an amateur in Madison Square Garden. When we fought for the 1977 Dylan Golden Gloves Championships. That was a big. To this day, I think the record is still 20,233. That's never been broken to this day, I believe.
Wow.
And that was. And not only was it a great fight, after fight, we had guys like Rich Green, Juan Laporte, Davey Moore. You know, you had great guys that became world champions later on in life, and the Hall of Famers. You know, so it was great. So I would say that was the highlight of my boxing career in terms of an event.
Oh, definitely. That's what any kid from the city lives for. Just that moment to be on the floor at the biggest arena in the world. So that's amazing.
20,233. That was tremendous, man.
That's a very big number.
And I got robbed too.
Let's only focus on the positive, Pep.
Listen, Pep, if you're gonna get robbed, might as well be in a big way, right?
So Pep, so let me ask you. So we're talking the '80s now.
Okay.
What circles are you running in? Are you hanging out with any big celebrities or anything like that, or are you just focused on?
Listen, the people you guys don't know, you guys are too young back then. People like Phyllis. Remember Phyllis Hyman, the singer?
No, but I'm gonna Google her.
Oh yeah, she was beautiful, man. But I won my first championship in Madison Square Garden. I was in a club called Ecstasy in Brooklyn. And she was performing, and I found out that I was in the audience, so she asked me to come to the green room. So I came to the green room, and she and I were talking, man, and she's about 6'1", beautiful, man, big breasts, beautiful woman, you know. We just talking, we just talking, and you won't believe the conversation was just nice and gentle. She was just so, I was watching her amaze her, as she couldn't her makeup, she's a beautiful woman. I'm 5'3", sitting down, looking at her up. It was great, man.
You know what? You know, one thing I know about you, you don't lack confidence, so it doesn't matter the size, Pat, because...
It's Pat. Keep it 7 picks. Don't go wrong. Yeah, but I had a good time. I'm a lot of celebrities that I dealt with, you know, people like James Hinton-May, who comes on WWRL, I think now. And on Sundays, he's an activist now. James Hinton-May, people like Eddie Kendricks, Billy Brown. I mean, I had but my highlight would have been I supposed to met Anita Baker in 1986 when she was hot.
Are you serious?
I just came back from Seoul, Korea. They had my people had set up for me to meet her, but I lost a fight, so I didn't want to see nobody. I went into isolation, so I never met her.
Oh wow! Hey,
that was in 1986. That's when she was hot.
Hey, speaking of Korea, so I was reading an article about you that you had went out to Korea. You fought for the championship. You lost. You came back. You took a flight back to Detroit, and then I think your manager did you dirty. He just disappeared.
It was a bad. I'm gonna tell you just how this was. I was with a company in Detroit called Cinnamon Boxing Corporation. I had a contract with them, and what happened was that when I got back from Seoul, Korea, and I had lost this fight, I got back from Seoul, Korea, and they sent somebody to the airport. No, it's not. We got back to New York City, but I wanted to fly back to Detroit to relax, And what happened was that when I got in the airport, there was nobody there to pick me up. So the next day, somebody comes to the airport with papers, telling me my contract and telling me that that's it. Yeah, and they asked me that I was going to get on the plane and go home. Well, my smart self did was call the press up, the Detroit press, and they did an article on them, and that's how you guys got to know what you know right now about that situation, you know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was they left me hanging, yes they did.
Oh, wow. But, hey, Pep, what was in Detroit? You had family, friends out there?
No, my last year I boxed out of Detroit.
Oh, okay.
I boxed out of Cinnamon Corporation. I was out there with Tommy Hearns and all the good guys, you know? I boxed out of Detroit my last year. And so that's why I went back there. I went back there to just relax. Even though I was living in New York City, but I went back to Detroit. Sorry, went back to Detroit to relax. But apparently I didn't relax, did I?
Listen,
I could have about it now, but believe me, I was pissed.
I'm pretty sure it's a frustrating situation, of course.
Oh yes. It's like a world time. You come back and you're stranded with the airport like that. That was ridiculous.
Exactly.
I was really upset about that.
You know what, Pep? What? Being in the boxing back in the day, what do you think about the boxing now? The landscape of boxing today. Who stands out? What do you think about the business side of it? If you have any opinion on it, what stands out for you?
Well, I really don't follow boxing too much. You know, Mark Bruin, the trainer of Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, he was my brother-in-law at one time. You know, he was my brother-in-law. He's still a bad shot. You know, at time working with the kids, so I appreciate that. You know, but I don't really follow the fight game that much, man. You know, but I do follow. If I do follow, the best guy I've been lately has been Mayweather. Even though some guys in my area he couldn't have beaten, but he was the smartest. You got to give him credit for being smart.
I say that all the time.
Became a billionaire, man. He became a billionaire. You know, he's smart. You know, and I hope he stopped boxing because this when you start getting messed up when you start standing on the game too long and on the boxing things. That's when you start getting hurt. That's when you start talking bad and start not seeing things right. You know, so I hope he stay out of the game and treasure what he got and just do what he needs to do in life. You know, he's a businessman now. He's the smartest. He wasn't the best. Don't get me wrong. He was not the best. And I know his uncle Roger. You know, he came one of my championship fights in Las Vegas. So I know Mayweather. I know a little about it, but he was the smartest boxer to me. Even as smart as Ali was, he wasn't as he didn't do the way my man did it. But Ali was the starter. He was the first man to start talking junk. People could listen to what he was saying. You know, they would listen to what he was saying. And he was the first guy to cost us base of money, but they really blew the door open though.
No, you're absolutely. No, you're absolutely right about that.
Let me say, he's a good fighter too, but he could be this guy like Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard was mean. Sugar Ray Leonard was a killer, man. You know, in the ring, he was something else. Think about a guy like Thomas Hearns, 6'1.5", with that long reach. He was stressed about. So he was good in his era, but some guys back in even a guy like Aaron Pryor, the Hawk. He couldn't be there at 140, man. No way he could beat this guy. But he's smart. In terms of business-wise, he was the smartest. Mm-hmm. And he could fight, though, but that's for this era, though.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think Floyd, he really changed the game when they did that Real Access boxing TV. He was the first one out there in front recording himself, and what he did was he was strategic in how he played the crowd. I think he's the person that I've heard the most where people tuned in not to cheer for him, just to see if he was going to lose. And that's where the money's at.
Let me interject for a minute. I don't want to interject for if I can.
Okay.
That's why he makes most money. People don't want to pay to see him win. They'll pay to see him lose, and he never lost. Exactly.
But Pep, staying on Mayweather for a second. Let me ask you: do you think it's possible that he's still fighting because he needs that financial gain?
Well, I'm half saying, but he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be though. And if he is, he should not be. He got business stuff. He got entertainers. I think he got he's got a promotion with boxing. He shouldn't need no help. He should be doing good on his own. Wanting to get back into that ring again. But I'm hearing rumors, but he don't need to be back in that ring because this is when you get hurt.
Yeah, no, because
this is when you get hurt.
But one thing about him, though, I will say his defense is very impeccable, and he never takes he doesn't take big gambles. He stays close, and he sticks with his strategy, defensive strategy.
Yeah. But believe me, guys, I'm telling you, the defense was Thomas Hearns would have stretched him out. Sugar Leonard would have beat him, and Aaron Pryor would walk at 140 on that 140. He put too much pressure on him. He couldn't send the pressure to Hawk and put up.
Yeah.
You guys know about some of these guys. These guys was killers, man.
And that's one thing that I used to be and I say I used to be because it's not like I don't watch boxing as I used to watch it, but the people that you mentioned, like the greatest 3 rounds I ever saw in my life was Hearns versus Hagler.
Yeah, that was a fight.
Those first 3 rounds, and Hearns was a beast, Hagler was a beast, Sugar Ray was, and I honestly believe that very few boxers from this era, from this time, from Mayweather's time, would have done good back in the day. Aaron Pryor was a monster.
A beast.
A beast, man, and
But I'm telling you guys something you guys don't know about Aaron Pryor. When we were in amateur, even though they were a little ahead of me, but I know when amateur in training camps, amateur training camp, Aaron Pryor was dropping Sugar Ray Leonard sometimes in training. That's why Sugar Ray Leonard, he moved to 139, because Sugar Ray Leonard used to be a 32-pounder as well. He moved up to 139, because he had Aaron Pryor, he had Thomas Hearns, he had Thomas Hearns, he had Howard Davis Jr., who passed away, God bless him, was great, 32 pounds back in the 70s. Howard Davis Jr. was a killer back in the amateurs. And only as amateur though. But Ray moved to 139, and that's where he got his gold medal from. He said 132, he might not have been an Olympic.
I think that one of my personal favorite boxers is Wilfredo Benitez. And
that's my man. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, guys. Listen, Wilfredo Benitez, his trainer is Victor Machado.
Yes.
He gave me the name I kept in 1975. I was boxing in the gym. He said, he gave me that name.
No way, really?
His name is Victor Machado.
Yeah, I know who he is. I know.
Hello?
I know who we're talking about, yes.
Okay, he was one of Victor Valley. He was one of Benitez's trainers. He gave me the name Hot Pepper. That's where I got the name from.
Pepper.
Now that name is in the Congressional Library in Washington, D.C. Now that name is in the Museum of Fine Arts in Houston, Texas. So, hey, you did good.
Hey, Pep, I told you had some Puerto Rican in you.
Spanish guys, I be boxing, man. I'm set open Spanish.
Hey, Pep.
I had a good time, though.
Hey, Pep, you remember that time you took me to, Best Eye Gym where Mike Tyson used to train?
Yeah.
Was it Best Eye?
Yeah, he trained for my kid was really broke. Really, I used to train him with bro. He was one of my kids. Mike Tyson was from state. He was up there with Gus D'Amato.
No, it was really cool. So Chris, me and Pep were walking the gym, right? And Pep is a character. He's always joking around. So this guy's hitting the heavy bag real hard. And then he looks at the guy, he looks at me, he goes, "Lou, you want next?" I said, "Hell no, okay. I don't want none of that."
But to a little kid like Billy Bo, he was my kid brother at 13 to 14. Then we went to the Golden Girls with my other coach, George Washington. And then, he became a world champion. But I'm in contact with all these guys. Guys like Hagler, these guys, I would be friendly with these guys, but a lot of these guys keep stay in contact with me, though.
That's
Stay
awesome.
in contact with me.
That's a beautiful thing right there.
That's nice.
Yes, it is.
Hey, Pep, I wanted to ask you, so now when it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered for at the end of your career?
I thought it'd be funny. I'm probably going to be nice. You know, Pep. Don't so much of Pep. You come along. I think I was a community-minded person, man.
Yeah.
My thing was, like the best I did when I opened that gym back up, and still up to today, because of what I did for it back in 1989, this present time, it's still open today, but, giving the kids the opportunity that I had, so that was the sense of my mind. Give these kids the opportunity that I have, so them still open up for the kids. And I always been a community-minded person. I always been in the community. No matter what I've done, I always recognize where I came from. Like Bed-Stuy, I always recognize Bed-Stuy as my home.
No, absolutely. And Pep, like I said at the opening, you were very instrumental for a lot of young men coming through Sunset Park and just being there,
Thank you, man.
keeping that gym open.
I'm glad I want you to have some good for because the kids, you guys were great too, man. I'm telling you something. You guys are my kids, man.
No.
They're older now, but you're still my kids, man. Like guys like Damon and Andre, you guys are great, man. And I appreciate what you guys grow up, man. Cause I had fun with you guys, man. Tease you guys. I had fun with you. You guys were nice. I like you guys, man.
Same here, Pep. Hey, Pep, I actually want to play you one-on-one now. I think I got you. What do you think, Pep?
You got me. I can't play him for man. But back in the day, my Ellen couldn't handle me then. I was too quick for you, man.
Listen,
No, you weren't quick. You were too quick.
Listen, Pep,
Well, when it's coming to the part, you can handle me. I was no ball player. No, I can shoot a little bit. I couldn't dribble.
Listen,
I couldn't
Pep,
dribble from my quote. Saved my life.
Pep, between me and you, Pep, you can still take him.
Hey, I put some gloves on, I can.
Whoa, Pep. I'm into UFC. I don't box. Hey, Pep,
Put some gloves on, I can. Let me say something that's funny right now.
Okay.
Right now, I go to the gym and lecture the kids sometime, right? I was in Tennessee this summer. I was boxing. A kid, he had the captain. Boop. I did an oops. I like to pet the kid. I don't want to hurt them. I'm 18 years old, but man, I take that down. I would have beat the mess out of the kid. He trying to beat me. See, with me, you can't win.
Yeah.
If I beat you up right now, right, I'm not nothing. This guy, he was champion. He ain't nobody. If you beat me up, I'm still not nothing. So I cannot win, can I?
No, you can't. Plus, Pep,
I cannot win.
Pepper, those hands are still registered weapons. You got to be careful.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Street person in the street now, he's regular. Come on, man.
Yeah, no, I got you.
But I know. One thing, man, I might get angry at times, but I listen to you. I was a counter puncher. I would never do nothing unless you did something to me. I would never do nothing to you.
No, I can.
That's why I live a peaceful life now. I'm good. Everything. I appreciate you guys like you guys. I appreciate you guys, man. I got kids like you guys all over, man. I get this from. I'm just so. But man, you don't know, dude. I love you guys, man. All you guys. What's the other guy name? There's another guy there. The Middle East. What's his name? Shafiq. I forgot his name. He's been playing ball with you guys a lot too.
Yeah, it was Shafiq.
But it's a lot of guys. You remember Al? You know Al, right?
Yeah. We
I did a game with Al. I called Tech on Al. He said, Pep, you can call on Tech. You didn't give me a warning. I said, I'm Pep. What you talking about? I love you guys. I have fun with you guys, man. Sunset was my first, thing singing basketball card. And I don't know if you remember. You weren't with me, but most of the kids, some of the guys that I met up, and what's the other kid name? This guy, kid that went to the army, became a police officer.
Oh,
I forget his name.
Andre? No, Jay Flight. Jay.
No, he's right across the street from the center.
The Haitian kid. That's Andre. He's still a police officer.
But his partner back in the day, this Spanish kid went to the army too. I forget his name.
I think that's Jason J Flight.
And,
Well, you had Geeko, Ray's brother. He went to the army, but I don't believe he's a police officer. And I think those are the only two guys that were from that time that went to the army.
but Lou, let me ask you a question, Lou.
Uh-huh.
Who was the craziest guy over there? What's the kid that get all wild? He's all howling because he get upset about something. What's his name?
That's Ray. We used to call him One Punch
Ray.
Ray. Ray was ready to swing at somebody.
He just hollering, upset him. Nothing really.
That's my man Ray, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
But you got, nice work with you guys, man. I really mean that, man.
yeah.
It's so funny. Hey, Lou, do you remember one day you sitting in the garden? I was watching the Luther Vandross show,
Uh-huh.
and you was in there.
No. I don't recall that. Luther.
Okay, then leave it alone.
Hey, Pep, from the bottom of my heart, man, I really want to say thank you for taking this time. And this platform that we have here is really just to pay. Yeah, hey, Pep, you can hear me?
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah, this platform here is really to pay tribute and homage to, those folks from Sunset Park that really contributed to the community. And
I
just,
appreciate that, man.
and you're one of the first outsiders, but you contributed so much, Pep, that I think you did more than 60% of the people that live in this community. And I'm really grateful to have known you, to call you my friend, and nothing but respect and love, Pep. Anytime you come through, you're more than welcome, brother.
You got anything
And I can afford to treat you to lunch now, Pep. So you come through, I got you. I remember all those pizzas you got me.
Wait,
So.
I'm gonna come through too, man. I'm gonna meet you, man.
No, Pep. I'm sorry, Pep. I'm gonna hit you up. We have an annual reunion basketball game. I'm gonna hit you up and I'm gonna give you the information. Al's there, all the old timers are there, so you can come through and catch up, man. It'll be nice for everybody to see you.
Sounds great.
Hey, Pep, thank you, and take care. God bless, brother.
Hot pepper!
Keep it seven steps, don't go wrong.
Yeah. Pep, I'll hit you up later, okay?
Yo.
All right, cool. Later.
Oh,
That's my man. Yo, I got nostalgic, man.
No, I saw you.
Listen, the guy, Chris. Back in those days, either you was running with the dope boys or you were playing the sport.
Okay.
So I was always teetering on the fence.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I wanted to be a street kid or if I wanted to play sports.
Yeah.
The fucked up thing is I go to the dungeon and it's all the street kids there. They would just, they alternate. But this dude was like I said, he used to keep the gym open for me. And I used to just work on my jump shot. Chris, he would take the ball and give it to me about 150 times. So every night I had a routine. I would work at the bodega, the Korean store. That would close at 10 o'clock, 10:30, and he was supposed to already be out the gym. He would leave it open for me.
Wow.
So I would run up the block and just work on my jump shot. And Chris, when I tell you from freshman year to junior year, I became a monster. My game was so much better. And it was really because of all that time the guy was giving me.
And think about it, Lou. This is we fuck around and we joke and this and that, but him doing that probably diverted you from.
No, 1,000%.
That's
Chris, 1,000%.
I get goosebumps because they don't know.
They don't know.
They do it out of the kindness of their heart.
Yeah.
They don't know that you might have avoided a stabbing or a shootout or just regular, get hooked up on some whatever. So it's big, and I'm happy you did this. I really am. People like him, he sounds so humble too. He sounds like down to earth.
Really nice, funny as fuck.
I like when I mentioned Roberto Benitez.
Yo, and that's a good name, man. That guy, he was a monster.
Yeah, but they threw him. They made the same mistake that Canelo made with Mayweather. They threw Canelo and Mayweather too early in the career. With Roberto Benitez, Sugar Ray destroyed with Roberto Benitez.
Was that the fight that he took a beating that was really bad? He almost died.
With Roberto Benitez right now he's not good at all.
From that fight?
I'm not gonna say from that fight,
but I knew it was bad.
His career, he's bad. And
he went up in weight to fight him?
I don't know if he
Because
went
I
up
felt
in...
like whoever it was, Sugar Ray. whoever, when I see the documentaries and his name comes up,
Yeah.
it just seemed like he was just overpowered.
Yeah, he was.
The guy was just hitting him with too
By the
much.
way, I think they were brother-in-laws. Or
Yeah,
some
yeah,
shit.
I heard some crazy stuff.
Some
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Destroyed his career. Well, Robert Benitez is the youngest champion. I think Tyson is also up there too. And the youngest person to become champion. Well, Robert Benitez was nice.
But you heard what Pep said though, right? When he was out there in Tennessee recently, and he was messing with this 18-year-old kid. He goes, he really wanted to go beat his ass. Those guys from that time, different mentality.
Of course.
Brother-in-law or not, you're gonna get you step in his ring, you're gonna get it.
Exactly.
It was
exactly.
just it was a kill or be killed mentality. Different times.
It's funny because funny. It brought me back. Well, I forgot
Uh-huh.
these hands are registered.
Yo, you used to say that shit all the time. Notice when the champion was on the line, you didn't say, "Oh, we got Pepper be on the Pep slap box."
You know what happened last time somebody told us to slap box, right? Yeah, they got mad. They got mad because we beat them in softball. That was hilarious.
Oh, that's the big Crin though. Crin, I love you, man. We gonna have you up here, Crin.
I don't know. He has to pay us to come up here.
He gotta subscribe first of all.
Subscribe and maybe buy us some lunch or something, and
Yeah.
then we'll consider it.
Well, little backstory on Crin. So for people that don't know Crin was an all-city catcher for Lafayette High School. Back in the day, my man Crin was a phenomenal baseball player. It was like, it wasn't about the streets, it was all baseball. That's all he used to think about. So later on, after high school, maybe 15 years? We're already in our 30s? Probably in our 30s already, right?
Oh.
When that went down with Crin and when we played baseball against Crin and these guys.
Oh, well, definitely. Well, you were in your 30s.
Yeah. So Chris was just touching 50. So we're playing down in Shaw Road, and Crin has his team. It's all nice. You know, everything's going smooth. He's being real cool. Next thing you know, me and Chris, we're spanking the boys. We're starting to get hits.
We're doing what we do.
Next thing you know, Crin is no longer looking cool. He's diving in the dirt. Shirt is dirty.
He had a white tee on.
White tee.
He dived. His face, he was so disappointed. He was disgusted.
And Crin had Shaq. He had
The whole Four Deuce crew.
Bezo, Joey.
Yeah.
They were all on the team. So long story short,
All the gangbangers.
long story short, we ended up beating those guys like 10-8, 10-9. It was pretty close down the end. So at the end of the game, as is customary, everybody lines up to go shake hands. So I'm coming down at the back of the line, and Crin's at the back of the line, and then we meet, and he goes, "Yo, fuck that baseball shit. Let's slap box." I said, "Oh shit, Chris, let's go."
Yeah, you know what got, sorry to interrupt you.
Did it go?
You know what got him? What got him was that we would.
What, when he dove on the floor?
He dove on the floor. We talking shit and we laughing, talking shit and laughing.
You know what it is, Chris? When you're all city catcher, and to lose to some fucking weekend warriors.
No. And it's Joey's fault because Joey said, "Oh, you guys, I got a secret weapon. We call him the difference." I said, "Get the fuck out of here with
That was
the
Big
difference."
Crin?
Yeah, Big Crin. And I'm like, we busted their ass, man. They can't fuck with our softball game, man. We got too much talent. Too much talent.
Are you ready over there?
Ready for what?
Yeah. Hey, sidebar.
Right.
Before I forget, the love that we've been getting from you guys has been tremendous and much appreciated. But I want to educate you guys, and so you understand. In order for this to keep on going, we need subscribers. We see that we get a ton of views, however, we're not getting enough subscribers.
Hit the subscribe button. You just poke it.
It's right there. You hit the
I
subscribe
know.
button, and you never know when these jerk-offs decide to do something creative.
Exactly.
Chris calls me sometimes 2 in the morning. Yo, I got an idea.
It's too much time in my head.
All the sugar deprivation is making me think. It's making me think.
This keto.
But when you subscribe, guess what? You're the first one to know what's going on. And you know how it is on the block. It's always who's the first one to know. They can say, "Yeah, I already saw that."
You don't want to be the first one to go to bed when you're hanging out and when I find out that something popped off. Just listen. Most of our you've poked things. Just poke the freaking thing, man. Hit the subscribe button.
It doesn't bite.
It's not gonna bite. Like other shit.
You might get STD, but it might not bite. It's not gonna bite. But seriously, thanks for the love, and just hit that subscription button. And the biggest compliment you can pay us is to tell a friend, recommend us.
That's
to
the best
somebody else.
thing.
All right, it's all love. Again, you can catch us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addicts, did I say iHeart?
You said iHeartRadio.
iTunes, but the most important place if you want to see video content is iTunes. And
iTunes and YouTube.
YouTube. Excuse me, YouTube. That's where you catch all the video content. And me and Chris been working hard to try to do this. And like I said, this is the battle of the best athlete. So far for this month, I'm not gonna ruin the surprise, but it's Skelly's. That's all I gotta say. And I told you guys about Rob, right? The guy that got hit by the car.
I don't remember. What you did?
Real quick, 1986. We're outside on the corner not even in the corner, in the middle of the block of 43rd Street between 8th and 9th Avenue. It's an intense Skelly game. Nobody sweats in Skelly, but we do. We're sweating. We're getting it in. It's me, Rob, Vinny the Italian, and there was an Asian kid. I just can't remember his name.
Let's call him Chinito.
An Asian American kid. So we're playing, and Rob, who I left out, he can't hear. He's hearing impaired. I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing.
No, hearing impaired is fine.
Hearing impaired. So it's very intense. We're going back and forth. And as you know, you got to try to get to box number 13. Rob is on the verge to getting to 13. He pulled off a heater. That means 3 consecutive shots. Pow, 10, 11, and 12. He's going for 13. We all run because we see a car coming. We're yelling, Rob, car! He couldn't hear. Boom, got hit. Chris.
Holiday reminder. You are not obligated to continue holiday traditions that leave you broke, overwhelmed, or tired. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your time. Don't be a slave to nothing.
Free shooters!
Boom!
What do you think? What do you think? Chris, you have the clicker?
I kept this up here, but keep forgetting.